I mean, just look at the celebrations there, the victory dance. I'm going to challenge Leanne to that one a bit later on. But this morning, we do have three-time Women's Africa Coach of the Year, a coach who has led her country to their first Africa Women's Cup of Nations, and former Banyana Banyana captain. It's the one and only Coach Desiree Ellis. Coach Ellis, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and welcome to Sports on Morning Live.
Good morning, Desiree. Thanks for having me. It's just been a crazy morning. It's so early in the morning here, and I've already had an interview right across as well. Really excited, over the moon.
You're certainly the lady of the moment. But Coach Ellis, it's been such a long journey for you. From that first international in Swaziland in 1993 to this amazing night you've just experienced on Saturday in Rabat. Talk us through just the emotions and the tears of joy as well as heartache that you've experienced throughout your career.
Well, obviously the heartache in 1995 when you didn't qualify, playing against Nigeria. And then in 2000 again, that was the last time I played in an AFCON here in South Africa. We lost 2-0 and the game was abandoned because of crowd violence. And 2019 as well, as the head coach of Banyana, we got knocked out by Botswana of the Olympics. So this is just amazing, I think it was tears all round. It was tears of joy. Each and every player you ran to was busy having their own emotions. Many have been there. Many played in 2018. Some played before that in a couple of finals. I think there's some that played in 3. So this was really, really, tears of joy. And everybody just celebrated off the roof.
Indeed, Coach Allison, it's been such a long time coming for you. And I mean, we've seen the hard work that you put in. We see you week in and week out at the Hollywood Bets games, just scouting for new talent. But let's also talk about how the wheels of change are turning in terms of football, women's football on the continent. And I mean, you were there in 2000 during that abandoned match between South Africa and Nigeria. And we've seen Nigeria really dominating on the continent. But now they find themselves in this competition, finishing without a medal. And we have 2 teams from the SADC region, which finished in the top 3.
I think it's fantastic for COSAFA. They've really come forth with the COSAFA Cup every year and really prepared us for times like this. And a big ups to COSAFA for this. Zambia has done really well as well. It's unfortunate that we had to play each other in the semi-finals, but we were adamant, that we wanted that medal. And I think, everybody's woken up on the African continent. You had debutants there. You even had Botswana there, who was also from the COSAFA region, which is fantastic. You had debutants, Togo, Botswana, Burundi, Burkina Faso, 4 in one competition. You also had, Tunisia there having knocked out Senegal, a former champion, Equatorial Guinea, a former champion. You had Senegal there having knocked out Mali, who were semi-finalists in 2018. So, and you look at Morocco, who's had a fantastic women's program. So if you don't, move with the trends, then you're going to get left behind. So, everybody's waking up on the African continent now, and women's football can only grow better and bigger.
Certainly, and we also saw the 3 pillars of that WAFON trophy being held by 3 generations of players in Janine van Wyk, Andile Dlamini, as well as Refilwe Jane. Talk to us about the role and the importance of leaders within your squad, even though it may be leaders without a title, but leaders that have a voice.
Look, we have a group of captains, and the captains for the AFCON was Andile Dlamini, Refilwe Jane, and Janine van Wyk. We want to build more leaders. We want to make sure that, when they step out, that there's already leaders in place and not now having to prepare leaders. And we've had this for a while now. When we played at the COSAFA, we had Sibulele as part of the captain's group as well, because normally during COSAFA we only have local players. You know, we've had Tembi captain the team. She's part of that leadership group. We've had Tembi captain the team against the Netherlands. It's just the idea of building more leaders, you know, and this group has been fantastic, you know. So they really stood the test of time, and they were adamant that nothing was going to stop them.
And Coach Ellis, what would you say is the importance of having top players like some of the ones you've mentioned now, Refilwe Jani, Tembi Katlane, Noko Matlowu, as well as perhaps the Mamelodi Sundowns ladies who play for the Banyana team, who are so consistently exposed to a high level of competition on the continent?
Look, it's always good. Speaking to Nigerians in the past, they said the reason why they were so successful is because of the players that are playing abroad, and here we have a group of players coming from abroad, and we could see that at the Aisha Buhari Cup, having those players for the first time out elevated the team. But we also have a group of local players who have played, over the last 2 years or so during COVID, when the overseas-based players were not available for certain reasons, and they've matured. So we had to get the mix right of youth and experience, the youth bringing the energy and the senior players bringing the experience. And you could see the fight, on Saturday when they got back into the game. You could see the senior players really standing up and making sure, that we get over the line. And that is really important, having that right mix, not just the youth and experience, but also the versatility. Because during the tournament, we lost Tembi, we lost Gabriela before that, we lost Tembi. And also we had the COVID cases. So, the players really stood up and that was fantastic, especially during the COVID cases when SAFA assisted us in getting over the line there.
And as you speak about those COVID cases, what was going through your mind in that moment? Because, as South Africa, we hear back home, we're backing you. And, of course, we hear the news of Tembi's now out. The other players are going to have to step out. And then there's that COVID happening. What are you going through in terms of emotions in that moment within the camp?
Look, we just tried to stay calm, obviously, and speaking to the players just before training and saying, well, we didn't expect this, but this is the reason why you were selected. You were selected for every eventuality, for your versatility. And I can tell you now that we had such a fantastic session that day that the players were ready to step up, and then SAFA came through for us and really assisted us in that matter. And we ended up, playing the quarterfinals and getting through.
And Coach Ellis, you speak about SAFA. We also need to touch on how SAFA has been so crucial, and credit needs to be given to SAFA for backing former players such as yourself and the likes of Simphiwe Dludlu. And also we've seen SAFA nurturing our elite players with that high performance centre as well in Pretoria.
Look, our president took a stand early and said that all our women's national teams will be coached by women. And you're right, Simphiwe Dludlu is the under-17 coach. A former player, Jabulile Boloyi, is the under-20 coach. And we thank them for the faith in us, but also for the support, because it's really important that you get the support as well. And I think that has really helped us going forward. And this is the result of it. Simphiwe Dludlu went to the last World Cup with the under-17s. So it's really showing, that with the support and the faith that, women's football in the country can go places.
Indeed, and as you talk about women's football in the country going places, let's also expand into the continent. We've seen how Morocco has invested so heavily in the women's football, and the results are evident from a team that could barely qualify to becoming finalists. Coach, what is the importance of investment in women's football in this country? And we look at something like the Hollywood Bet Super League as well, and the fact that some players are not paid. We need to really put our money where our mouth is when it comes to women's football in this country.
Look, SASL is the sponsor, of Banyana Banyana and the SASL League, obviously, as you said, and then also the Hollywood Bet Super League. But that is not enough, We need more sponsors to come on board to make sure that we take it to the different level, to make sure that, that clubs don't struggle, to make sure that they're able to pay their players. You look at Morocco, they've got a 2-tier professional league. They even have a national league for U17s. So they've really invested in this. That's the result of them being in the final. And if you want to move with these teams or these countries that are investing, then you've got to invest as well. So we've always urged more corporates to come on board. And we hope now that, we've shown our true quality and got that elusive gold medal, that there'll be more corporates to join SASL, more corporates to join Hollywood Bets, to make sure that we elevate women's football in the country. Because we surely have the talent, but talent alone is not going to, keep you amongst the best. Surely Nigeria will come back fighting. They showed their quality in the semi-finals, playing with 9 players. So they will come back and all the other countries will step up.
Indeed, and Coach Ellis, I want us to touch a bit more now on the actual games. And just before coming into this final, of course, you got that award. Congratulations at the CAF Awards, being the Women's African Coach of the Year. And you didn't want to dwell so much on that. You said, thank you so much. I acknowledge what I've done here, but the focus for me and the team is on the final. Talk us through that.
Look, I didn't want to go. I didn't want, to lose focus of what the task was. And the task was obviously, the final. So I didn't want to lose focus of that. But I was representing the team because this is actually not an individual award. I think it's a team award. It's through the efforts of the players and the staff. And obviously everyone else, the coaches in the league that contribute to the success of Banyana. The players that have come before, coaches that have come before. So this is an award for everyone. I'm just the recipient of collecting that award. And I didn't want to make a big fuss about it because we had this very big game coming up, it's more, the bigger picture was the final. I'm just grateful that it didn't sidetrack any of us. And now we have that medal and that elusive trophy.
Such a humble coach we have in Coach Desiree Ellis, so much humility. And as you speak about just being focused, we look at that semi-final game. How do you keep the team calm and composed after what happened? Because then we now hear news of Zambia now wanting to approach CAF because they feel that they've been hard done. How do you keep the players focused on the job at hand and not to focus so much on all the noise?
Look, this was a group of players that was very determined. We also brought a mental coach with us. That to work with the players and the whole group and to work with groups of players. I think that was really important. As much as we tried to work on the mental side, we are not experts. So we brought a mental coach with us this time, and I think it really, really helped. We just focused on what we needed to do. We got over the line, and we focused on what we needed to do and made sure that we were ready for the next game. And that's the only way we tried to, players just tried to switch off. Just going into the stadium shows you how switched on the players were. It was a packed out stadium in the final, and they were determined that nothing was going to stop them.
And as we talk about this final game, we're going to the halftime break. It's still goalless. How do you get into, what is the discussion in the change room during that halftime break to say, listen, when we get out into the second half, something needs to change? What are you saying to your players?
Well, we had a chance before halftime with Hilda, and we could have put it away. And I felt that we were, controlling everything in the game. They had the sporadic attacks that, came down our side. But I thought we handled that really well. And we just said, keep going. The goal is coming. Keep going. Keep playing the way we're playing. We put a plan into place, and I thought the players were excellent. And I said, keep going, keep going. And lo and behold, an 8-minute blitz with Hilda Magai getting the 2 goals. And we were in complete control until we conceded very poorly. And then we had to show our grit and our character again, because then the fans started getting them going, But what a magnificent group of players, the big hearts, the grit. And they really wanted to get that over the line. Nothing and no one was going to stop them.
Not even that 9 minutes that was added on, Coach.
Oh my goodness, that was my longest 9 minutes of my lifetime. I wondered where that came from, but we were great because the players had given everything up to that moment. And now you see the board coming up 9 minutes, and all you have to do is to ask them to keep going. We had a couple of players, cramping, and trying to get players on and to get in, but they stood the test of time.
Coach Desiree, Ellis, thank you so much for your time this morning. Congratulations to you and the rest of the Banyana Banyana team. You really have done us proud as a nation, and we look forward to welcoming you at the OR Tambo International Airport tomorrow. We will be there in our numbers.
I can only imagine. Really looking forward to that. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. That is, of course, Coach Desiree Ellis, the head coach of Banyana Banyana, the African Women's Coach of the Year, and also the lady that helped South Africa to lift their first ever Continental Women's Africa Cup of Nations. We also only become the second nation to have won it for both the men and the women. So massive congratulations to Banyana Banyana. We are so proud of you, and we will see you out at the airport tomorrow. We will try and play that victory dance once again later on, but now it is time for an ad break, and we'll be with you after this.